So, this one is going to be about communications, communicating with these spirits, and really cutting off communication with them. Um, I just did a video on prayers, doing prayers, my experience with it and everything like that, the power of it and everything like that, the power of your words, things like that. So you might want to check that out, okay? By title, prayers, dealing with the attachment and prayers. Um, so I'm switching off from them. That's a very powerful. It's probably it's the most powerful, even more than the crystals. I would say that because there's something coming from yourself. Something coming from you, a fight coming from you, your words being spoken, about the situation and to the situation. Okay. So I may be experiencing different things. I may have to, hold my head or, say go like now, or something like that. Talking to these spirits, because they're going to change up and switch up. But I would say that is the most powerful, effective way to deal with these spirits is praying. Okay, telling them to go back to where they came from, creating an atmosphere where this is very loud and clear, crystal clear to them that you want them away from you. Okay. All right. So yeah, if you want to, you can go ahead and listen to that video, and get some information about that or hear more of me talking about that situation. So this is about communication. I want to make it short, but I may talk about some things in here. Shortly put, simply put, cut off communication with these spirits. I remember maybe 2 months ago, 2 months and a half ago, or something like that. There was another spirit audio that I could hear. It was saying you're not supposed to be listening to the spirits in your head, to the voices in your head. You're not supposed to be listening to the voices in your head. Leave those voices in your head alone. So throughout the enemy or the devil will always, he's accusatory. He's always going to accuse you. So you don't have to sit there and believe that, oh, well, it's because, believing what these spirits are telling you. Oh, well, it's because of your sins and all this other stuff. The devil's always going to use things to accuse us. He's always going to accuse us and use anything and everything to accuse us. But those voices in your head, you're not supposed to be talking to those voices in your head. You're not supposed to be listening to them. You're not supposed to be talking to them because they're of the dark. They're not of the light. They're of the dark. And they're telling you things that are just not good. Okay. And it's not for you. And so leave those voices in your head alone. That's what the message was. Leave those voices in your head alone. Leave them alone. You know how you walk out of a room and you leave people that was in that room alone to themselves? You leave them by themselves. You leave them in that room. Leave those voices in your head alone. Walk away from the situation. The more you pay attention to these voices, I know that you may be at a point where they're so close to you and around you that you can hear them very clear, or you can hear them, clear enough. You can hear them. If you ever hear them too clear, like as a person in your house, then you need to pray, because if, like, it's somebody close to you, not even necessarily in your house, but like they're another person, you need to pray, because that's possibly that you're at a point where they can possibly supposedly take you, or whatever you're going through. Just always pray. God can maybe work something, not maybe, will work out the situation for you, but definitely pray. What I found is that the closer you are to healthy eating, and being healthy is the best. Okay. They're less able to, do things to you. They're less able to hurt you. They're less able to do the things that they claim or that they say they can do to harm you. The closer you are to being healthy, the closer you are to even being strong enough to but having the willpower within yourself to fight them off. If you believe what they're saying, the more you believe what they're saying, the more power they have over you. I've had them say several times, we need you to believe what we're saying so that, it's effective. So that we can, have the results we're looking for. So the more you believe what they're saying, that they can hurt you, that they can do this, they can do that, all this, the more you believe what they're saying. The thing is, what I'm trying to get you to understand is, you're not even supposed to be listening to the threats. It shouldn't even get to the point of a threat. If it is like that, then they're too close to you. You want to keep them at a distance, at bay. You want to keep them at a distance where you can barely hear them. You want to practice that on a daily basis, getting them far away from you. Okay? Far, far, far away from you, as much as possible. Because the closer they are to you and the more you are sitting there listening to them, the more problematic and issues you're going to have with them, because you're believing what they're saying. You're trusting in what they're saying. You're in fear of what they're saying. Now you have doubt, worry, fear, anxiety, paranoia about the things that they're saying that they could possibly do. And some of it, they're not at that capability. They can't do it. They're not able to do it. They're just saying it, or they're lying. And anything that they can do, if you're in fear of that, have worry, anxiety, doubt about it, paranoia about it, the more you're in that energy, the more effective it is. Even if they're able to do it to you. But if you do not believe it and you cut them off as far as listening to them or as far as responding to them, then the less effective they are to you. If you stay in the way of negative thinking as well, they're able to draw your attention, or they're able to get closer to you. If you have a negative way of thinking or negative sayings, then that's how they can get closer to you as well. Okay, so you want to stay away from that as much as possible. But cutting off communication with them is the best thing. That's what you want to do, is find a way to cut off communicating from them. Because they're too much, that's the strongest one. That's not the strongest one, but it's one of the strongest things, to cut off communication from them. When you cut off communication from them, you keep them further away. What I'm learning in this timing right now that I'm in, the last week or so, the power of cutting them off, the power of cutting off the communicating with them and thinking else. Like yesterday, I was coming from the store, and I was just in this energy in the past few days of just, if anything, I'm just listening, but I'm not trying to listen. It's just because they're talking, but not responding to them and putting my attention intentionally somewhere else. Oh, I gotta go to the store. Or I gotta do this. Oh, what's the next thing on my agenda? Oh, what I gotta do here? Oh, yeah, okay. Just thinking about how I used to think before these spirits entered my life. Okay, anything like that, music, something, anything. And the more you do that, the more it pushes them away, pushes them further away. The more you ignore them, you're pushing them away. And you just got to keep on it and stay on it. There are things that come to my mind, and then it just seems to bring them back. You know what I mean? But you just got to work on staying and keeping them away. Staying away from thinking about the spirits, thinking about what they're saying. You can actually tune them out. You can actually tune these spirits out. And sometimes I don't even realize that they're gone. They were like, oh, we left. And I'm like, dang, something I thought or did made them come back. Also, too, with this works, you clean up your house. Clean up your house or your area where you at. Clean it up. Wash your clothes. If you have to wash your own hand, wash your clothes, wash your hair, wash your body. Something about me washing my hands, I'm always learning something. The more I wash my hands with soap, somehow it casts them out of my body. And rinse and dry it off with either a paper towel or a clean towel. Okay? A clean towel. All right? There's so much. I got to do a video on showers and everything like that. Because they come to you through water, the sound of water. All right? And they're strengthened, and they come to you in the showers. Okay? So I want to talk about that. But if you can cut off successfully the communication, stop responding to them. They'll say things that'll make you upset. They'll say things that'll make you mad. They'll say things that they know will get to you because they've learned you or something like that. That's why I think that they're like familiar spirits too as well. But anyways, they're familiar with you. They know, they've learned you, they studied you, they know you somehow. But anyways, if you can cut off that responding to them, no matter what they say. Sometimes they're calling your name and you don't even know that you're so close to them leaving from you, that if you respond, then that means that allows for them to stay. You have to cut them completely off. I'm so sorry. You have to cut them completely off. Okay? You gotta cut ties with them completely. And you got to leave them alone. It's something about leaving them alone. So when I was coming home, my bags were kind of heavy. So I stopped. I was almost home. And I'm thinking in this way. What I got to do? Oh, it would be nice to fly in a plane. Oh, look at the sky. I haven't looked at the clouds in a long time. Wow, it's beautiful. And I'm just at this place where I'm just really ready to let them go. You know, I'm really ready to get back to my life and leave these spirits alone. Walk away from them. To leave them alone. Leave them by themselves. Stop responding to them. Stop talking to them. Stop communicating with them. Stop, entertaining them. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt because I've already done that. And be done with them and go back to my life and back to the way that I think and the ways that I think and whatever that is. So I almost had another moment where they were gone, that close to them being gone. If I can learn to really tune in and zoom them out and tune them out. It seemed like the easiest thing to do. It would have been the easiest thing for me to do when it first started. In November. When it first started. For you. It would have been the easiest thing if you had done this right when they came. If you had done this, if you had known to do this right when they come. Because there's no attachment. I'm sorry. There's no relationship or something like that. You know what I mean? You would know, okay, because you know how to tune things out, right? We know how to tune things out. We know how to move on or whatever. It could be an argument or something, we need to go to sleep or something or whatever. Music. We know how to do that. But for some reason, we've gotten so entangled. This situation has gotten so entangled with us that we are stuck. They're stuck with us. We're stuck with it. They don't want to leave. They do not want to leave as well. I've said it before in the other videos, but for the most part, they don't want to leave because they have a mission to complete by those who have been sent to, those who sent them with the spell work. And if it's any other situation where they weren't sent by an attachment, these demonic spirits they don't want to leave. Typically, they're not just going to go unless they've been told by God to leave, unless God, wills for that, has allowed for it to be that way and has sent them away. But for the most part, you or in other situations, it's a situation where you have to get them away. You can pray, of course. Always do that. Always do that. And just believe and have faith that that's what it is. And it could be certain things that are holding them to you, or holding you to them. I've had times where I'm so close where they were gone, when they were unattached to me, and so close, and they would say, "Let us go," or "Your thoughts are bringing us back. Something you're thinking is bringing us back to you. We're coming back to you. Your negative thinking, because of your negative things, some of your thoughts is bringing us back to you." And I was that close, and they were leaving. They would say things like, "Oh, bye, we're leaving. Take be a good person, or we'll be back," or something. You know, they'd be saying their goodbyes. And that's why I was like, oh my God, so they're really leaving, you know? But it would be something, some type of fear, some type of worry, some type of doubt way of thinking, and it starts to bring them back. You know, so I don't know exactly what that is, but I have been working on it since then, since that first few times that I noticed that some type of anxiety, worry, doubt, fear of mine is causing them to stay. I get that close. The spiritual cleansing salts, you know, I do it in the shower. You know, I put the scrubs on me in the shower, standing there for about 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It works at keeping them at bay, but as far as fully casting them out and away from me, it doesn't do that sometimes, because I'm that close, or something I'm doing, or I'm thinking about that's holding, still they're holding on. So again, keep your body clean, keep everything about you clean as much as possible. Okay, clean your environment, wash all your clothes, keep your house clean. Okay, because these types of things, throw away your trash on the daily. Okay, because these types of things are the reasons how they stay around. Okay, also about trapping them. I think I'll do a video on that one, because I actually did, but the volume was down. But trapping them, okay, learning ways how to trap them through using pink Himalayan salt and glass bowls, and Ziploc bags. Okay, the crystal kind, not the granulated kind like salt, but the crystal rocks, that one. Trapping them in glass bottles with the tops on it, glass bottles, glass jars, glass bottles. Okay, and the bowls of salt, and just other ways, because it helps to make them not be so strong against you. Okay, all right, so I'm going to do that video as well. All right, so because this is like the 4th or 5th video I did. I'm just feeling myself. I need to, you know, go eat and, you know, do run an errand and everything like that. But closing out the communication, all this stuff all together, it helps. I've been, you know, taking walks, you know, and getting outside in the sun, getting some sun on a regular basis. That's good. And you know, what else? There's so many different things. Cutting off communication, like being able to watch your favorite TV show without, or the things that you watch without interruptions. You know, as long as you keep it positive, it's good. As long as it's something that's of high vibration, or something that will change the status with them from you being around you, usually that's something that's positive, then that's good. You know, and then you being able to keep and think positive as well. As soon as you think negative, that's when you draw them closer to you. And your negative thinking, it draws them closer to you. Okay, but as soon as you can think positive and stay on high vibration, vibrating high vibration, that pushes them away and keeps them away. When you ignore them and you do not respond, it pushes them away. If you pay attention, you're ignoring them and you're thinking about something else, maybe something you're watching or something that you're doing, something you're paying your attention, and you ignore them, if They would probably even tell you it pushes them away when you ignore them and you don't respond to what they're saying. You want to keep them at bay. You want to keep them away from you. So it's a process. It depends on where you are. Your capability of being able to walk away. You might not be able, you might be in a place where it's hard for you to do that. Okay? And you may be in a place where you're in between. You're able to do it halfway, or you're not able to do it halfway, and you just need more practice in doing it the right way. Or you may have a hard time doing it because almost everything you think about can be a negative thought. Almost everything you think about is something negative. Almost everything you think about is low vibing. It's low vibrating. It's not positive thinking or high vibrating, things that uplift your spirits. Okay? Or you might be, closer to the vibrating high, and then you just need to add more to that. You need to do more of high vibrating things, vibrating on a high level. Just add more to it, and you're going to get rid of these. They're going to go away. That's what I see. I got so close to it. I'm getting so close to it every time. So I guess I'm in the middle because I'm not the type to stay at a low vibrating. I always try to, elevate. But it's not enough to where it's not enough because I always end up going back to vibrating low. But I know how to raise my vibration. I know how to get up there. You know what I mean? I know how to change it, even like that. Which is really good because it can save your life. Vibrating in high vibration, it pushes them away from you. Okay, this is the reasons why they're around, for being in low vibrating too low. Negative energies, thinking low vibrational things, ways of thinking and doing things, vibrating low, which is, negative things, all negativity, everything that's negative and not good. Okay, that's a low vibrating. But vibrating high and thinking positively and, being resilient and, or, being able to bounce back from, anything. Not being in a state of unforgiveness about things or being offended, standing offense or dwelling on that. You can just leave that situation alone. If you can't think to forgive somebody, keep those type of things out of your mind. Don't even think about it. Or think about the positive things. If you have to deal with the situation, only think about the positive, dwell on the positive. The more you stay in their negativity, the more you're going to keep these spirits around. The more they're going to stay. The more they're going to dominate. The more they're going to talk crap. The more effective they're going to be in your life. It may take time. But you do need to, get to a place where you're not being negative. Because this is how they rule. This is how they dominate. This is their world. And this is the reason why they're talking sugar honey iced tea to you. And the only way you're going to shut them up is if you are not staying in that place of being offended and unforgiveness. And you what is it where you feel like you're so entitled? These people, some people owe you. People really don't owe us anything. So many people die and never get to a place, never offer apology of any sort. So then what are you going to do? So stand in a place of brokenness in that way, negativity, oh, these people did this to me, XYZ, complaining, it's not good. Because these spirits thrive off of this. They're gonna be strong, talking sugar honey iced tea like you won't believe. Talking all kinds of mess to you. And very effective at it. Because you fall for it. But you got to learn to come out of that. Because if you don't, it's going to hurt you. They're able to actually hurt you. They're able to actually... Because what you'll be doing is possibly falling for what they're saying. You're possibly believing what they're saying. Well, we're going to hurt you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And especially you going back and forth with them. This is like I said, the spirit that told me Leave those voices in your head alone. You're not supposed to be talking to those voices in your head, meaning those spirits. You're not supposed to be talking to them. You're not supposed to be listening to them. You're supposed to cut them off. You cut them off and leave them alone, they have to go. They have to leave. We have to learn to do that. We have to learn to let them go. We have to learn to not respond to them in a negative way because they're talking about a particular situation about us. Because they're talking about something that's close and dear to our hearts, and don't say that and don't talk about that and da 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 da. Don't respond to those spirits. When you find out and you see and you need to know, just right off the bat, they don't mean you any good. You don't need to find out because if leave it up to them. They don't want you to live. They don't want you to to live this life. They want you to take your own life, or they want to take your life. They want to harm you. So you have to cut off the communication. You have to stop talking to them. You have to stop responding to them. Sometimes they're going to say things to tee you off. To piss you off, they're going to do this. To make you very upset and irate. That's their job. If you find that you are being upset and you're being, infuriated and, angry and all this other stuff because for responding to them, and now you're having to try to explain it to people why you're so upset, why you're mad that you're talking to spirits, that you're talking to spirits in that manner. I mean, think about it. Some people are like, that's crazy. The crazy thing about that is that you're responding to these spirits that are in your head or what have you, when you don't have to, when you shouldn't. You shouldn't be responding to these spirits. You shouldn't be talking back to them. You shouldn't be, in communication with them because they don't mean you any good. But the thing is, the reason why and or how we've responded, for some of us, this isn't my thing at first, but it became this, is because we're responding to negativity. We're responding to a way that we are, and being offended or feeling some type of way, being in our feelings about certain things. Well, I feel this. And anytime we can let go of resentment, anytime we can let go of unforgiveness, anytime we can let go of offenses, things that people have done to us, anytime we can let go of, oh, I'm entitled to this, even things that we feel we're entitled to. Because like I said, some people die and some people just move on and they feel like they don't owe us anything. I don't owe that person anything. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. That's their fault. It's on them. They can say some mean, ugly things. So the longer we stay in negativity, and negative way of thinking and doing things, especially negative thinking and or words, the longer you are feeding these spirits that you're hearing, these demonic spirits. You are feeding these spirits when you respond in a negative way, in any type of way, whether you're responding directly to them or to a situation, circumstance. They're going to respond. And they're going to say things that you don't like. And it's going to engage you in something, back and forth, or, keeping them around. You have to cut off the communication. You have to cut it off. Just cut it off and leave them alone. Leave them, do not respond. Go back to your life. Go back to your, how things were. No matter if you developed some type of relationship with them, or, they were people that you were talking to, or, you had somebody, because they don't mean you any good. They always end up trying to get something from you that you're not willing to give. Trying to have you do things that they don't that you don't want to do. They don't have your best interest at heart. So you have to cut them off. Cut them off. That's what you got to do. And I'm working every day to make sure that that's what I'm doing. But I found that to be one of the most powerful things. is cutting them off and going back to my agenda. What is it that I'm doing today? The most thing is not responding, ignoring and not responding. Not responding, one, not responding to what they're saying. One, not responding to what they're saying. Two, ignoring them and doing something else, thinking something else that has nothing to do with them. That could be hard if they're repeating constantly what you're saying just to stay attached to you. Just know that that's what they're doing and move on to the next thing. And if it's that one, then move on to something else. Something's going to work and it's going to cut right through that. Okay? You may have to say a prayer, or something like that. But do that until it works. Keep ignoring them. Do not respond. Do not respond. Now, I was going to say when I first did that, do not respond. Sometimes they're able to actually touch something, right, on your head or something. Touch. You can feel it in some type of way. Mostly it's lightly. Or do this, or they do that as a way to try and threaten you. Okay, that's to a certain extent, and it's because you're believing. It's what you believe. They got so close to you that they can do something like that to you, or that they have that type of effect on you. But as soon as you cut them off, they won't be able to do that or anything. You won't even be able to hear them. You have got to cut them off. And you got to be able to stand in a point. And maybe perhaps there's some that probably have gotten successful where they tuned them off and cut them off, but then they came back. So then you have to, make sure you're standing at a point where you saying that you don't want them to return, and that you cut them off. You do the same thing you did before, and you can make sure that they're cut off. I imagine if you do this successfully, you're cutting them entirely off. You're like with the head, you're severing all ties from them. And so you have to do that over and over and over until they no longer return. It's like not responding to something or someone, period. And you have to do this because they're spirits, they're entities, and they don't mean you any good. The longer they stay around, the worse. I mean, I've had them in jars, and then I had to do some cleaning and stuff like that, allowing the original bodies, their original forms that they came in, to releasing that. And then I had to jar them again, put them in jars again, so that I can be protected, so that I can be safe, so that they're not so strong. You have to cut off communication. You have to, cut them off. Do not respond and ignore them. And just keep moving on, and keep that practice. Also, being around others that have nothing to do. So there's people that don't even know about what you're going through. And you just carrying on, you just doing what it is, playing a game of football or playing basketball or, any type of hobbies, but being around someone else or other people that does not so much into this or know so much, or if they are, they're supportive of you. They know what you're working on, they know what's going on, and they're supportive of you. Would even pray over you or with you about the situation, or have high hopes that this situation dissolves. You have a solution where these spirits are gone away from you. Okay, staying away around negative people. Staying around people who aren't so on the same page as the things that I'm saying. That's not going to work. If they're constantly talking about negativity or negative things that feed into negativity, and where your mind, now you're thinking negativity, that's not going to work. So as much as you can stay away from those environments, away from those type of persons, as much as you can, because sometimes, we have to work, or we have to whatever. So a lot of times you may not even be able to share that you're going through this with other people. You know what I mean? Just because you don't know what their response is going to be, but you need it to all be positive, and you need to kind of be in making sure of that, often, you know what I mean? So If you find that there's just negative persons or negative words being said and spoken that manifests them, that makes them, that draws them closer to you, you need to get it. I want to say you need to get away from those people, but you need to withdraw from them somehow, some way. You need to do that, because that's just not good. I'm telling you, because they're gonna stay around. They stay in negativity, negative ways of thinking, and negative words that are being said. They stay around in those things. They thrive in that, because now they can put their 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents in, and that's their objective with you. So you got to learn to turn that off, tune that off, say goodbye to those people, see them in a week or so, whatever, or whenever you have to see them, and just keep it to a minimum. Even if you're in their presence, they're in your presence. You just have to shut it down somehow, some way, because you listen to music, or just straight out tell them, like, I don't want to hear that, or tell them, and there's many ways to do it. Many ways to do it. You can say it nice. You can say it in many ways. Anyways, and then sometimes you may have to walk away. This is your mental health. This is your overall well-being, and you looking out for yourself. So you may have to stay away from them. You can tell them. Some you may have to tell them, like, hey, this is a situation and I need for things to be positive. I need to be, high vibrating, not being in a low way of thinking, vibrating low. Because it's going to keep these spirits away. It's going to keep these spirits around me if I'm vibrating too low. And the things that you're saying seem to be manifesting. They seem to be manifesting. I was in a better, light just before you came. Or, just let them know that, I need to, this is what you need to do. If it continues, then, just continue to make your steps away from them or what have you. And they're going to have to understand. You may have to say it again and again. And then after that, if they don't understand it or respect it, then you have to walk away. Because you need to protect your energy. You need to protect yourself. You don't have time to be, fighting these spirits and then also fighting people and the real world about something that they should be understanding about. You don't need that. Okay, so, learn to walk away from, negative environments and or negative persons and words being said, negative ways of thinking. You want these spirits away from you. You want these spirits, you want to be free and cleared of them. You know what I mean? If the person can't be on the same page with you being freed from these spirits, then, in the right ways, then they have to go. Period. They got to go. You don't have time for negativity. You don't have time for any of that. Because this situation alone is overwhelming. It's a lot. So, being in control of your environment, being in control of who's around you, what's being said. You can't always do that, but you can walk away. You can end things. You can end conversations. You can up and leave. You can, leave. Is something you're watching, is something you're hearing on television, you can, leave from that situation in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But these types of things do keep them around. The negative way of thinking, words and sayings, negative, it keeps them around. It manifests them. It draws them closer to you. And the closer they are to you, the more harm or the more things they can do to you. And you want them away from you. You want them away from you. So keep your agenda positive. Go out there, do your hobbies. Go out there, be around people who are happy and high vibrating. They got different things going on that's really good, really exciting. Things of interest to you, things that'll keep you motivated, things that'll keep you optimistic about life in general, about the things that you want, your goals, your dreams. Continue pursuing these things. Continue looking into these things in some way, shape, form, or fashion, even if it's just you by yourself. You can do it. That's all that's needed is you, you and God. and just, keep these spirits away from you. The more you're outside and you're in the sun, or you're outside, get your sun hat, get your shades, get your sunscreen, go to shaded areas, figure it out. Go to the park. Stay safe though. Don't, I'm not inviting you to, I'm not saying, be open to all types of different environments or all types of people. If you're type that always, protect yourself, protect your environment, do what you need to do, but get outside. Don't stay in the house or in enclosed environments. That's what they want you to be doing, is staying away from people and staying away from nature. Don't do that. Nature is what's going to save your life. Trees, the wind blowing, the sun on your skin is going to save your life. Get out of your house. Okay? On a daily basis. If it's nothing but sitting out on your porch. Okay? If it's nothing but walking around, taking a walk around the block. If it's nothing but going to the store. Get out of your house. Or sitting out for a little bit. 10 minutes. Get some fresh air going through your body that is not in an enclosed environment. Okay, get out of your enclosed, any type of enclosed environment, and get around people who are high vibrating, who are living life, who are, doing good things. You don't even have to know them, because if you're at a park and people are just enjoying themselves or whatever, or in other environments and people are just enjoying themselves, then you're around people who are high vibrating. You're around others. And these spirits are, they start to fade, and, that's not something that works for them, because they want to try to keep you in negativity. They want to try to take you out, and they need your full attention. So for you to stay in the house and stay in enclosed environments with the drapes closed and the door closed, and unless God is having you do something like that for prayer or something, unless it's super positive, you don't need to be doing that. It's of the enemy, it's of the devil. He wants to take you out. He needs you to be all alone by yourself. And that's why don't talk to this person. Don't talk to that person. Don't talk to that person. They don't listen to these spirits. Do not listen to them. They do not have good intentions for you. They may say some things that are truthful. And that is true. But what's the truth is that you need to leave those voices in your head alone. Leave them alone and by themselves. Because their overall intention for you is not good. Their overall goal for you is not good. They're trying to take you out. They want to take you out. You don't need to ask them anything. Just ignore them. And leave them alone. Do not answer them. Do not respond to them. If they call your name, if they bring up something familiar, do not respond to them. That's going to be your best action, is not responding to them. And if you're a person of prayer, even if you're not, you speak to the situation, do not speak to them. Even if you're saying something like, open the door, like my door was messed up a little bit. Open the door. Open this door now. Something like that. I don't know. But you need to be in control of the situation. And do not respond to these spirits. Respond to the situation, the circumstance. But do not respond to these spirits. Ignore them and don't, whatever they're saying. A lot of times they repeat the things that you say. They repeat the things that you're saying. And, that's to keep a connection with you. But keep on going until they're no longer doing that. Until they're like stuck or something. They're fading. Get outside. Get you some sun. Get you some daylight. Sit outside. Okay? Play your music. Change the frequency. Change the atmosphere. Because they will come in and will be having a whole... somebody says something theatric. They have a whole whatever they got going on. This is all audio for those who aren't able to see these spirits or see anything. This is all audio. They will have a whole theatric going on here. Be music. I mean, they're singing and they got all this stuff and they're saying all negative stuff. Change that. Put on your music. Put on some inspirational music. If you're into gospel, put that on. If you're into jazz, whatever it is that's uplifting of your spirits before these spirits came into your life, put that on to thwart whatever negativity they have going on. Do not listen to them. Do not sit here and listen to them. If you have to play it all night till you go to sleep, then that's what you got to do. If you have to, sometimes it's going to be some nights where you have to stay up, fighting against having to listen to them, what they're trying to tell you. Sometimes it's like that. But for the most part, just tuning them out and keeping them far away from you is the best thing. Sometimes I just go to sleep. I mean, it's nighttime, 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and they're going about and saying different things. I don't want to hear it. I'll go to sleep, and what I do is I turn my back to them. They're saying, when you do that, we have to leave you alone. Or there's only certain things that we can do to you. You're tuning out for us, that you're not open to us. And I can stay like that all night. I've trained myself to do it. It's not good, but because when you're facing them, something about you facing. Anyways, there's a lot of different things, but just pray. You're a person of prayer, you believe in prayer. I would say just pray about the situation. Go! Yeah, so cut off the communication. Even that, but sometimes if you're feeling something, you need to say something. But they shouldn't be this close. You know what I mean? So I have to put in more practices, and it's okay because I'm safe when I do that. You know what I mean? So that, in cutting them off and keeping them back. Something I'm still hearing. It's something that almost sounds like a ringing in your ear. And that is really because they're fading. So it still could be because of the prayers that I prayed and been praying that's affecting them, because I want them out of my life. So you can watch that too, about prayers, dealing with these attachments, because it's about the power of your words. Okay, so I would definitely encourage you to do that, because in connection with this video, because it's just, not good. On this wall here, I have things for futuristically that I did about 2 years ago. One of them it says live. What the heck? It says wellness, health, new routine, exercise, quiet time, fitness, super focused meditation, challenging issues, changing negative energy, changing mood sets through music, changing negative thought patterns, health streak, conscious eating, behavior awareness, just a lot of things. Cool, green, calm, and free. Is at the bottom. And this is 2 years ago. You've got to free your mind. You got to free your way of thinking. Some way, somehow. Like yesterday, I said I was walking from the store and I had 2 bags and they were kind of heavy. And I was almost home and I looked up in the sky, and in the last few days, I've been in the mood to where I've just really wanting to walk away from these spirits. I've had enough. This has been 4 months and I'm just tired, But I looked into the sky and I'm like, wow, these clouds are beautiful. Just simple things, not able to do, haven't been doing in years. Because the other different things I've been going through that had nothing to do with this. It's only been for 4 months that I've been dealing with this attachment and these spirits, hearing these spirits. So, go! I'm sorry. Anyways, so, the more I think about my schedule, my agenda, ignoring them, not listening to them. So they're saying things, right? They're saying things, but first thing is, don't respond. Don't say anything. Not in response to what they're saying. And the second thing is to ignore them. So I've been doing this more in the last 3-4 days. Ignoring them. Not responding and ignoring them. Okay? So I can still hear them, but I'm not responding and I'm ignoring them. And what I find is that it thwarts them. It pushes them back. And it pushes them away from me. And with my thought of just like, oh, you know, in observance of the sky, in observance of the clouds, in observance of, you know, just things I hadn't really taken a look at. So I'm actually doing some backwards healing before these spirits came. So if you can try to heal from things before this situation happened, that's even good. That's even better. Okay? If you can start to try to heal from things that were affecting you and that were bothering you, and successfully doing that before these attachment or these spirits came, that would be even better, because that means you're reaching back even further, you know, in your healing process, you know, and in getting rid of these spirits. Because I'm taking note of things I hadn't taken note of, hadn't taken the time out to do in years. Okay, thinking about such things as looking up at the sky, looking at planes. Oh, I haven't been on a plane in a long time. I've actually never flown, but I'm like, wow, it'd be nice to, you know, fly on a plane, and taking in that moment that is completely separate from, you know, these spirits, and just thinking positively, just, you know, high vibrating again, not thinking negative, you know, and anything like that. And it pushed them far away. It was almost like they were gone. That close. I think that was supposed to be a moment where they were gone. But however, they're still around. You know what I mean? It didn't happen, but I believe it was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? And I seen that several times where they're almost gone. And something about the way that I'm thinking or I'm feeling, you know, I did go backwards in a negative, started thinking about them in some other type of way, or some negative thought that was connected to them. I would say that, you know, I started doubting. That's what, to be more specific, I started doubting, okay, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And that's what, you know, cut that whole process of them leaving. They were like, we're coming back to you. We're coming back. And I'm like, you know, just, so I've gotten so close, guys, where these spirits were gone. I've gotten so close so many times. And in the last month, closer than I've ever been. Because I've been fighting in the ways that I know how. You know, I've been fighting back in the way that I know how. In the best way that I can. Okay, I'm going to talk about attachments and these attachments and being unattached, them being unattached to you, and my experience with that, and how important it is, so that they can just leave. You know, they can just go, taking walks, and, you know, being outside more and everything like that. It's something more of what I've been saying, but I had an experience where they were, you know, almost gone. So, and then, you know, when I wake up in the mornings, that experience of them almost leaving from me. Okay, so I'll talk about that. Also, another separate video about showers. Okay, because they come to you in the showers. Okay, but anytime the sound of water, they start to manifest. They can manifest. And then some other things too. Okay, so I'll be doing that, talking about that, candles. My last thing that I'm using, strongest thing, is candles. Candles being lit in each main room. Okay, something about that. Okay, candles. I have scented candles, so that might be a difference there too, but just candles being lit. All right, so I'm gonna be getting into that, talking more about those things. I hope that, you know, this has really helped you. And just to sum it up, make it real short, just cut off the communication with these spirits. Leave them alone, because they can harm you. They'll find ways to try to, you know, harm you or bring negativity into your life. That's not good for your mental health. They're telling you all negative things that are not good. Eventually, they may, come off friendly or all this other stuff, like they mean you well and they mean you the best, but they're not for your well-being. Okay, so you need to cut them off. Don't listen to the voices in your head, and those are these spirits, even that are around you. Don't listen to these spirits. Find a way to cut them off. Don't respond to what they're saying. Eat healthier, because it strengthens you. The more healthier you are, the less they're able to do to you. Find a way to get substitutes, healthy substitutes for certain things. Cut the sugar. Minimize the sugar. Drink lots of water. Drink lots of water. A lot of water. Stay hydrated. Okay, stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. Keep your sodium down. Okay, the closer you are to being unhealthy, the more they're able to do to you, because your body is unhealthy. Like, say, hypertension. Now you need water. You need to cut the salt. Say diabetes or any problems, issues there. You need to cut the sugar. You need to drink more water. Sodas, anything you overly consume, they could possibly use it, depending on how healthy you are or unhealthy you are. Okay, so cut those things that you notice that you had a bad experience after you've eaten it due to these entities, due to these spirits doing something to you. Cut that ASAP and get a replacement. Or only eat so much of it if it's like something you got to eat, like potatoes or something like that. Some type of made with that, you can do a lot with potatoes. So make it differently, okay? Because these spirits, they take certain things and they use it. They're able to use it against you. So depending on how healthy you are or not, that determines if they're able to negatively impact your body physically in a negative way. How healthy are you? How strong are you? When they told me, oh, we weren't able to get into your body when you first came because you were strong. We weren't able to get in there. And we weren't able to mess with your heart. It took a minute, but then they were. But they said because you were strong, like strong as an ox. You were strong. We weren't able to mess with your heart. But as soon as this happened, sometime after, I started stress eating. And I'm eating things I hadn't eaten in years. Okay, so, and then I had to learn to come from that, okay? And eat more healthier choice foods, just period. Okay, so, guys, I can't stress this enough. When you are able to cut them off, it keeps them back. When you don't respond, it pushes them back. When you don't respond and ignore them, meaning you do something else, meaning you think something else, meaning you as if you didn't hear what they said, as if what they said doesn't matter, or as if you didn't hear what they said, and you ignore them and you move on, you continue watching whatever it is that you're doing, and you take your attention off and do something else, because they want to make you think that they're in full control, but they're not. Once you learn the art of that, once you master that, not responding and ignoring them successfully, then you're pushing them back. And you want to always practice this and keep them back, because the further back they are, the less they're able to do to you. Okay? So cutting off communication is the best thing, because this is what is going to eventually cast them away. You can even get to the point to where they're gone. If you cut off communication and thinking about them, you can do that. And I'm sure there's moments you've had, you've been around people, you've been in a situation, and for a moment there, you forgot that they were even there. You forgot about that situation. That's what you need to do. That part right there. Over and over and over and over and over and over again until they are gone. Until they're gone. So you got to figure out a way how to do it, to where you're no longer relying on it, because they're no longer a factor. You decided that you're done with them. You decided to walk away from them. You decided that your life And the things in your life means more to you than this situation. You've not made them existing in your life. You made them non-existing to you. To ignore them like that. Imagine you knew this when they first came. You would have been able to quickly thwart in that situation. Knowing what it is and just turning from it. But now you having to, do all this cleanup. It's okay. Just to get them out of your life. But we give them the power. Whatever power they have, we've given it to them in some way, even involuntary or voluntary. We've given them the power. The more you believe what they say, the more power they have over you. The less power you give them, the less power they have. You need to take back your power from them by not responding and by ignoring them and doing something else as if you didn't even hear what they said, as if they don't exist. And stop listening to the voices in your head, or stop listening to those voices and leave those voices in your head alone. Leave those voices in your head alone, the ones that you're hearing. Leave them alone. Learn to walk away from them. And literally, you might have to do that. You know what I mean? Walk away. Do not, continue to listen to what they have to say, all this stuff. Sometimes you're going to have to pray. Sometimes you're going to have to, cry out to God about this situation. Sometimes you're going to have to, speak positively things over your life and into your life because they're saying some negative things. So you, in turn, speak positive, but not to them. You speak it to yourself and talking about the situation and the circumstance. As you want to cut talking to them out. You want to cut responding to them off. There's no need to do any of that. Just cut it off. Because they don't exist unless you allow them to. They don't exist. All right, so I hope this video helps you. The things that have been said and everything like that. If you know someone that's going through these type of things where they're hearing voices and they have some of the same experiences, you can send them these videos so that they can check them out. And also, let them do their research, hopefully, so that they can, and do your own research if this is a situation you're going through to find answers, okay? But I hope that this is helpful, and just know and understand that you've got to cut the communication, okay? You have to cut it. All right, find ways to do that are effective, okay? All right, so I'm wishing you the best and hoping the best outcome for you with this situation, okay? You can watch other videos as well that I have, but this one is the one concerning communication. Just cut it off. Cut it, okay?